This story happened in 2021. At first, it was just small things. Things I thought I was imagining, until I realized someone else was responsible. I was renting a small one-bedroom apartment on the edge of the city. Nothing special, old building, cheap rent. I had just moved in, and I'd been living there for about a month. At first, everything felt normal. But looking back, there were small things that didn't make sense. Stuff I brushed off, like coming home and noticing a cabinet was closed, even though I clearly left it open, or finding my keys somewhere I didn't remember putting them. I told myself I was just tired. I was working long hours, barely sleeping, so I ignored it, until one night. That's when things changed. I got home around 10 p.m., unlocked the door, walked inside, and right away, I noticed something. A smell, clean, like someone had just taken a shower, which didn't make sense. I never shower before going out. Only in the mornings. I just stood there for a second. Then I walked into the bathroom, and that's when I saw it. The towel was wet. Not slightly damp, actually wet. I touched it. It was still warm, like someone had used it just minutes before I got home. That's when I started to feel it. That uneasy feeling you can't really explain. I checked the window, locked, the door, no signs of damage. Nothing looked forced. I walked into the kitchen. There was a cup next to the sink, half filled with water. I hadn't used it. I hadn't even been home all day. That's when the thought hit me. Someone had been inside my apartment. I checked everything. Closet, balcony, even under the bed. Nothing. No one. And somehow, that made it worse. Because if no one was there, then who did all of this? I barely slept that night. The next morning I tried to convince myself there had to be an explanation. Maybe the landlord came in, even though he always gave notice. So I texted him. He replied pretty quickly. I haven't been there. Then he asked if everything was okay. That didn't help at all. For the next few days, nothing happened. Everything was quiet. And I started to think maybe I really did imagine it. Until a few nights later, I got home earlier than usual. Around 8 p.m., lights were off. Everything looked normal. I walked in, locked the door behind me, and then I heard it, a sound, very faint, coming from the kitchen. I froze, listened. There it was again, a soft movement, like someone trying not to be heard. I didn't know what to do. Part of me wanted to leave immediately. The other part needed to know. I pulled out my phone. I was seconds away from calling the police. And then, the sound stopped. Complete silence. I decided to check, slowly, step by step. My heart was pounding so loud I could hear it. I walked into the kitchen. No one was there, but something was off. The cabinet under the sink was slightly open. I knew I didn't leave it like that. I just stood there, staring at it, trying to convince myself I was overreacting. After a few seconds, I crouched down and pulled it open. Empty, just pipes and a plastic bucket. I let out a breath I didn't even realize I was holding. I stood up and turned to leave. That's when I heard it, right behind me. I spun around and saw the apartment door slowly closing on its own. I ran to it, pulled it open. The hallway was empty, but I could hear footsteps, fast, rushing down the stairs. I didn't fall. I slammed the door shut, locked it, every single lock. I didn't stay there that night. 2 days later, I moved out completely. Before leaving, I talked to one of the neighbors, an older guy who had lived in the building for years. I asked him if anything strange had ever happened in that apartment. He looked at me for a few seconds, like he was deciding whether to say something or not. Then he said, "Before you, there was another guy living there. He said the same thing. Said someone was coming in while he wasn't home." I asked him what happened to that guy. He paused, then said quietly, "He moved out. Real fast." Then after a moment, he added, "But he never returned the keys."